JTMM.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy JTMM, aka Just 10 More Minutes, aka The Freaking 10. I'm back here today with another video. This time we're going to look at Tom MacDonald's No Lives Matter. Now, this is a song. I was actually out on Twitch and talking with a friend of mine, and we started talking about Tom's songs, and all of a sudden he mentioned No Lives Matter, and I thought to myself, I've got to react to that one and break that down and get my 2 cents on it. Why? Because I'm JTMM and I am the freaking 10, and that's what I do. So I did really want to do this song in all seriousness because the message inside of it is amazing. Tom always has a way to put things that really make you think, to go, man, why didn't I review it that way? But what he spits is facts. And a lot of people don't want to hear those facts. And of course, when you see a title such as No Lives Matter, you're instantly thinking controversial and this is going to be hateful. And then you have to actually listen to the lyrics, right? Don't judge a book by its cover. And let's not judge a song by its title. So let's get into it. We're going to switch it up. There we go. And I do realize my camera's a little bit bigger on the bottom, but that's okay. I'll fix that for the next one. We're going to get to it with Tom MacDonald's No Lives Matter.
Hip-hop diet is full of guys who cannot even rap.
Okay. I'm going to stop it there. Now, for a lot of people that are watching my videos, they may be looking at me, as a lot of people do, not Hangover Gang, because they don't put color to music. But a lot of people will and say, what does this guy know about rap? I've been listening to rap, hip-hop, R&B, all types of music since I was a kid. I grew up on the Ghetto Boys and Scarface, Too Short. I grew up with that type of music, and there was something that I identified about it. I don't know what it is. I've never really sat down and thought about why I connected with it so much, but it's something that I really gravitated to as I was younger and fell in love with it. And if you think about the way that music was back then, whether it was Too Short, the Ghetto, right? Too Short's the Ghetto, and the way that he was telling stories about what was going on to get that next fix, right? And how families were torn apart and this and that. That told a complete story. Today you've got the mumble rappers. Today you've got the ones that just want to talk about going to the club, or how they bought this most expensive ride, or how they've got all these gold chains, right? That doesn't really, number one, motivate you to be any better. Number two, it just has no substance or story to it. Yes, you went to the club. Ooh, that's what all your songs are about. Whatever. So to me, what Tom says is an absolute fact. Today's mainstream rappers can't rap. Let's get back to Tom.
Media dividing us by color.
Let me rewind it just a little bit. There we go.
It's full of guys who cannot even rap. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked. If you don't...
Okay, so here's what I find ironic. And this has actually happened recently. So March 23rd is the Atheist Day. And what I saw was Happy Atheist Day. And then it was Welcome to Reality. And where we don't believe a guy in the clouds. And I thought to myself, I get it, right? There's attacking going on both sides. But it seems like it's more acceptable to attack Christians than when Christians attack somebody else. And that happens not just in religion. That happens in race. That happens with class warfare. That happens with quite a bit of things, to where they're dividing us and doing it, and people now see it as acceptable. So what he's saying there is 100% true. Let's go back just a little bit more.
Black. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked. If you don't hate police, then everybody thinks you're whack. And everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social...
Okay. A lot of reactors won't necessarily talk about this because it is highly controversial for anybody of Caucasian to even mention Black Lives Matter. Tom's very correct in this. It got very aggressive very quickly. Now, in any of these movements, right? And this is where, whether it's Black Lives Matter or Asian lives or whatever the category of the day is, here's what happens. You've got several types of people that show up to these movements and these marches and all of this. You've got the people that are truly marching for their cause and truly believing in what the message core is, right? That's your group, first group. Your second group are the ones that kind of want to take it to the next level, that have that true chip on their shoulder, that want to be more aggressive with it. And group number 3 are your extremists, right? In this case with Antifa, in any of these, I would truly call terroristic groups. I mean, that's my personal opinion on it. That truly take away the core of a lot of these movements, right? Because at the core of it, it was simply saying, take a look at what's happening to us, right? And that's really, I mean, it was take a look and it's got to stop. But what happened is you got all of these other two groups, group B and C, that came in and really overpowered that and got overly aggressive. And as Tom said, for the average Caucasian, they could no longer get involved with that. And that's the sad part of what happens today. And I'll get more into the race thing in a little bit. Because I'm not afraid to talk about it. It starts conversations, and that's what Tom's music does. But let's get back. I'm going to go back a little bit.
Got so aggressive, white folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social climate from the global tension turned to total violence and a whole depression. We could unify and then I'll go against them, but we let them divide us with votes and elections. Hey.
The votes in the elections, right? Let's look at the 2020 election. Probably one of the ugliest elections I've seen. I'm 44. I've seen quite a few elections. This is probably one of the most hate-filled, and when I say hate-filled, pure hate. We're not talking about just disagreeing on topics, right? We're talking about pure hatred for the other side. And I'm also not talking about, probably 90% of America. Because for 90%, maybe a little bit lower than that, those are your average people. There's another YouTuber, RIP Zach, and he leans on the left side. I kind of lean in towards the independent, a little bit on the right side. I can disagree with Zach in a lot of the things he may say or believe in, but I don't hate him. I actually really enjoy his videos. Why? Because he speaks common sense, right? Common sense is what binds us all. But 2020 was so divided. And it wasn't divided because necessarily the people, but how the news media put us against each other, right? It was the racism that they pushed and the class warfare that they pushed that really separate it, right? And then you've got one side claiming that the election is stolen, and then you got the other side is saying, you lost and get over it and blah, blah, blah. I remember easily when George Bush Sr. was running against Michael Dukakis, and they would have these debates, and you could see them shaking hands. And you knew that they could go to dinner with one another and still work together to get something done. Today, they can't do that. There's so much hatred, and that's what the news media has done. And that's what a lot of the politicians have done because they want that division. Tom will cover it. I went a little long, but let's go.
The music we bump.
Let me go back a little bit there.
unify and then I'll go against them, but we let them divide us with votes and elections. Hey, the music we bump, all about shooting guns and doing drugs. Hey, whoa, the things that we want are promoted subliminally through the songs like, you need a fast car, you need designer clothes, you need a rap star to tell you to start popping pills, hit the blunt and go live at the club till you're broke. It's all...
So let's think about what Tom just said here, and I'll just back it up so that I don't miss it this time. The mainstream music is talking about popping the pills, smoking weed, and in a lot of places it's legal, so that necessarily I don't have a problem with. But then, you know, living in the club, right? That's now the norm for a lot of kids. It's oh man, I can't wait till, you know, I can get to the club, or oh man, you know, I heard that so and so had weed, or this person's parents have weed and they were smoking it, you know, or this person was high on this. And I'm just sitting thinking to myself, that's really what they're talking about. And there's a lot of music that's out there that is so sexuality based, and maybe sexuality is not the right word, but sexually suggestive, and it's now accepted as Grammy winning or award winning or Grammy nominated. No, mainstream rap is crap. I digress. Let's get back just a little bit. I'll back it up just a little bit more for Tom. Let's go.
Promoted subliminally through the songs like, you need a fast car, you need designer clothes, you need a rap star to tell you to start popping pills, hit the blunt and go live at the club till you're broke. It's all controlled by the elites, put fake news all over our screens, convincing the right to go fight with the left and distract from the fact it's each other we need. Divided by race and religion, segregated into teams. You a white supremacist. If you're not, I guess you Antifa.
Sorry, I'm battling a little bit of a cold here. So, if you're not a white supremacist, you're Antifa. So, really, let's take a look at what a lot has happened on the left side and on the right side, right? If, for a lot of mainstream media, everyone that they interviewed or they talked about was, if you're a Trump supporter, you're a white supremacist. And just because you support him, you're a white supremacist. I didn't know that wanting to be financially responsible with the country or protecting the country from people that aren't here legally was supremacy of one color. I don't picture myself as a white supremacist. I don't picture myself as supremacist of anything other than maybe cooking. I guess eating, self-joke. But I really still take offense to that to this day when I hear this. Because, as Tom said, you've been labeled as either a white supremacist or you're Antifa and you're extreme on the other side. But that's what the news media has painted. I mean, it's insane. Let's get back to Tom here.
You a white supremacist. If you're not, I guess you Antifa. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
So think about that hook, right? They're beating us down, they're battering us with it, and they're turning us on each other until no lives matter, right? And as I said to a lot of people see the term or the song title of No Lives Matter, and they're just thinking like, oh my God, he's hating. No, he's being honest, right? Because really what's happening is you're seeing in today's world where no lives truly matter. To politicians, they don't care. They're making the money. If you take a look at the politicians that don't have term limits on them, do you think they honestly care what goes on under them? No, they don't. If they did, they'd truly be representing the people in their districts. They don't care. No lives matter right now, except for the politicians and the elites. And the elites are real. Whether people want to think about it now, do I think that these far-fetched conspiracy theories are real? No. But if you take a look at how a lot of things happen, you really have to question how they're being directed and who's directing them. And for me, there is some type of a group that is controlling that. And as Tom says, the media is using that. They're using race. They're using class warfare. They're using religion to turn us on each other, to get us to fight, to get us separated, so that the powers can be up here up top can sit there and say, okay, well, here's what we're going to do to help your fight. How about we stop fighting, come together, turn our attention to them, and watch how quickly they run.
Freedom's dead. If you have an opinion, take it back. Facts. People hate the president. If you don't, then you trash. Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap. The government abuses us. It's all part of the plan. And it's so confusing. Black Lives Matter is a valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included.
So there's another one of Tom's points. And I'll say in my videos many times, I won't apologize for pausing. That's why I'm making these, to actually give my opinion on what Tom says and break it down from my personal opinion. All lives matter is not racist. Just like Black Lives Matter is not racist, or Blue Lives Matter is not against any race. It's simply saying that all lives truly matter. Now, again, what happens with those groups? As I talked about at the beginning of the video, you've got the people that start at group 1, group 2, group 3, right? Group 1, they just want their voices heard. They want to be understood. And they want to work together to come to a common solution. Then you have group 2 and group 3 that are there to start chaos and are chaos. And that's really what we're talking about also with All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter. You've got those same group 1 where they're just saying, hey, we hear you, but you got to understand that all lives are blue lives. Not all cops are bad cops. Not all white people are bad. You know, just like BLM is saying, guys, look at what's happening to us across the country. We want our voices heard. And then you get the people that come in, take over, and you destroy the message. It's none of these groups were starting as racist groups until the bigger people get control. If you don't believe me, go take a look at how those groups started and how they ended. When have you heard, since the election, when have you heard any of those groups be mentioned? Leave it at that.
It's a valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included. All colors fall under laws that govern the whole country, and we all suffer. We're all broke and nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers.
Oh, wait. Tom, could you repeat that one time?
Ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included. All colors fall under laws that govern the whole country, and we all suffer. We're all broke and nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers.
Anything won't happen until we accept that we're all brothers. I point you back to 9/11, right? When 9/11 happened, there was this huge push of unity, right? You had this huge tragedy, and it had this push of everybody was seeing each other as Americans, right? And the government didn't like that. You know, they wanted the push for unity. They got unity. They went in, you know, took out the whoever perpetuated. If you want to believe, I'm not here for those conspiracies. But I mean, it was America, 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 right? And then we saw that push go this way. And Now, you know, they're calling for unity, but are they really calling for unity? I don't believe they are. But until we get back to that solid core where we view ourselves as Americans first without a hyphenated word in front of it, we're going to continue this path of destruction. And that's not taking away from anybody's culture. But the minute that you're defined first by something other than an American, then we've lost. When I view my friends, I don't go, hey, this is my friend, the African American. This is my friend, the Asian American. This is my friend, the Mexican American. This is my friend, the purple American. I just say, hey, here's my friend. Because the other shit doesn't matter to me. I don't judge skin. I judge the person and how they treat me. I could care less what religion, nationality, sexuality, gender, identification. None of that shit matters to me. Do they treat me with respect? Cool. Do we have fun when we talk to each other? Yes. Cool. We're friends. None of that other shit matters. It's when people in this country allow themselves to get it wrapped up into this whole identification and categorization bullshit that this happens, because everybody wants to put each other in a box. We have to be in one box. Americans. That's when America will be great again. And that's where a previous leader failed. He was more worried about news and headlines and all of that than truly creating a single American. And people may not like that comment, but it's the truth. And both sides are guilty of it. And not to take away from this reaction from Tom, but that's where we have to be. When we see ourselves as Americans first and stop with all this categorization bullshit, the country will go back to being great. Until then, we're going to be a divided country that will not heal. I'll get off my soapbox. Let's finish with Tom.
Hey, the music we make, all about big booties and getting paid. Hey, whoa, we watch the news and it fills up our brains with violence and riots and race. Like this is a race war. You need to hate more. Get what you came for. You need some songs about Xanax and violence so you can escape more. What a vicious cycle we can't break away from. They control the culture, they control the paper. They're indoctrinating a whole generation till the patriots start to hate the nation.
Okay, and I'm going to jump back because I forgot to on the previous one. Until the patriots start hating the nation. What have we seen? Right? All of this is causing hate. We're getting to the point, in my personal opinion, we're getting to a very, very, very fine line of a path of no return. I hate saying that because I love this country. But we're getting very, very close to that. And we have to come together. But that's exactly... I couldn't have said any better.
The culture, they control the paper. They're indoctrinating a whole generation till the patriots start to hate the nation. The music we love make us dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems. They're symptoms of life in the system.
Tom, can you say that one more time?
Till the patriots start to hate the nation. The music we love make us dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems. They're symptoms of life in the system.
Symptoms of life in the system. Tom, humor me, Tom, one more time.
Watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems. They're symptoms of life in the system. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter. The music will make you dumb. The media makes you hate.
I'll apologize for that little jump right there on the screen. I want to point out just something else on the song that I've learned. The whole set that Tom's did, again, Tom and Nova are independent. They do everything themselves. If I remember reading it correctly, this was nothing but a bunch of cotton balls and cotton that was all across their living room and how they made this. to make it look like this and just everything that they did, just hats off to them. You got to appreciate it. Sorry, Tom.
Once blood gon' splatter, turn us on each other till no lives matter. The music will make you dumb, the media makes you hate, and they control them both. There ain't no escape. They put the world in a state of chaos, economy crashing and massive layoffs. Black against white, or it's left versus right. Divide and conquer and control is the payoff.
I want people to listen to this right here. I may need to jump back one more time.
There ain't no escape. They put the world in a state of chaos, economy crashing and massive layoffs. Black against white.
Now, whether you want to believe that the pandemic that we're going through is a hoax, I don't believe it's a hoax. I do. I mean, obviously people are getting sick from it, so you can't say it's a hoax. But take a look at what's happening as a result of it, right? Economy crashes. There's massive layoffs. And who are people looking to turn to save them? The government. Who's that put that in control, right? Look at the stimulus check. How many people were sitting there counting the days until they got it? And I'm not taking away the fact that people needed it to survive. Don't misconstrue my point. My point is that if you take a look from a numbers perspective, compared to a flu, compared to car crashes, compared to heart disease, compared to all these other things, the death rate of corona is pretty comparable. I think the last time I looked, at least within my city, it was like 0.003% of the people that get it end up passing away, and that, you know, it's got a 85 to 90% recovery rate. Then you got that 10% of people that still actually have it. Don't misconstrue my point. A death is a death and a loss is a loss. I'm not taking away from that. In the grand scheme of things, and this is where you have to pay attention to what I'm saying. In the grand scheme of things, to sit there for the greater good of the economy and the people, to shut down the economy and close businesses and take away some things that these people have worked for their entire lives to open and run and provide for their family, not only for this generation but the next, for 0.0001% of the population, and I realize that 0.000 is a little exaggerated, but for that much of the population, it's not worth it. But what happens is when you do that, again, economy crashes, massive layoffs, they come in and they try to control the chaos. And that's what they've done. And they've turned now people to now, hey, I need my check. Hey, I need my check. Hey, I need my check. I can't work. Now you've got them back dependent on the government. When really they were depending on themselves before, but they can't anymore because businesses aren't open or they had to close their business. I may get hate for that. I'm entitled to my opinion, just like you are to yours. I'm not going to disrespect it and say that you're crazy for thinking differently. But you have to give me that same respect and say, I value your opinion, I respect it, I think you're wrong. I'm okay with that. We can have the conversation. Tom, take us home.
It's left versus right, divide and conquer and control is the payoff. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
So there you saw the amazing and beautiful Noah Rockefeller there with Tom. Those guys, so talented. I know this video is running long at almost 30 minutes. Actually, it'll go over 30 minutes once I'm done. I had to get those opinions out. Yes, they're strong opinions, but they're what I believe. And what we have to stop doing in this country is dismissing other people's thoughts and opinions. Unless they physically lay a hand on you, words are words. Whether you're using a racial slur towards somebody, in that case you're ignorant, there's really no room for hatred, right? And that's whether you're a Christian or it's based on race or gender or sexuality or all that. Hatred doesn't belong. The key to coming together, it's something that I learned early in my business career. And that was The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Franklin Covey. And I want to say it was the 7th habit, and that was seek to understand before being understood. And that's simply closing your mouth and listening. And if you look at a lot of these protests, BLM and anything, All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, what were they really asking for? Listen. Listen to what we're saying. Listen to what we're feeling. But what happens right? Everybody's talking over each other. Nobody's listening to a damn thing the other side is saying. And so all you do is fight. That was to stop. Seek to understand before being understood. Tom, another amazing video. Hangover Gang. Love all y'all. Can't wait for Tom's new video to drop on this Friday, which now will be tomorrow because it's now Thursday morning for me. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw, drop me a like, subscribe, and share. Let's switch back to where we were. I am generally live on Twitch every night. Please check me out. You can check me out at twitch.tv/just10moreminutes spelled out. Drop me a follow here. I love the support. 300 views to me over this past week has been amazing. It tells me that I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to keep improving, whether it's the sound, whether it is going back. Yes, Sonia, I heard your comments, and I thank you for it. I've got a lot more Tom videos coming out, thanks to some of the Hangover Gang pointing out which ones to go through. Please, ladies and gentlemen, drop me a like, subscribe, and share. Always remember, if someone asks you to stop what you're doing, don't ask for 1 minute, don't ask for 2 minutes. And please, 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 whatever you do, don't ask for 5 more minutes. Somebody asks you to stop what you're doing, always ask for just 10 more minutes, guys. I'll see you later on the next time. I'm out.
JTMM.